The favorite RPG type that we're talking about today, day 20 of RPG a Day 2015, is horror. Boo! I spent a lot of my time in role-playing as a hobby in the genre of horror. A lot of different games, a lot of different styles, approaches, from the the personal horror of the world of darkness to the kind of ineffable cosmic horror you find in Call of Cthulhu, and somewhere in between, beyond the supernatural and the like. There are a lot of horror games out there, some of them quite original, some of them taking the genre in one direction more strongly than the others. These days you can pretty much find a horror game to suit your personal tastes in the macabre. Recently I picked up a game called Cold and Dark, which was kind of like an alien horror in space theme, and it relies a lot on the themes of violence and invasiveness and the sense that you have nowhere to go, that sort of thing. There are a lot of horror games out there, but for me there's really only been one from the beginning. And I don't really look at horror games without that bias, I think. So you might expect me to talk a lot about my favorite horror game because horror has been so important to me, and yet I find myself not wanting to say anything other than this game is my favorite horror game. It has been ever since I first played it, ever since I first read it, and I expect it to continue to be so. I think it's a pretty fantastic game with which you can do a lot of things, a lot of pretty horrifying things, and some things which players don't even realize what it was that you actually did, or what it was that they experienced, or what it was that their decision caused to happen, for quite some time. Lots of games you can do that in. I just find that the way this one works really well for me. And I hope if you haven't tried it, you will. I hope if you haven't played it, you can. And I hope that you do so well. The game deserves that kind of attention. My favorite horror game? Do you have to ask? Call of Cthulhu.